Hello, everybody. My name is Rob Walsh, and welcome to another 1010 Win Small Business Challenge. A very special thanks to B&B Bank CEO Kevin O'Connor and his outstanding team for their strong and continued support of the 1010 Win Small Business Challenge, and for all they've been doing to help small businesses, big businesses, reopen their doors. In addition to assisting with the $10,000 winning prize, they're also providing a $100 gift card to each of the finalists, along with a $500 gift card to the winner today. In partnership with International Coaching Federation, the Long Island chapter, B&B has also arranged for one-on-one coaching for all our finalists. Let's take a minute to see a special video.
The work to rebuild is just beginning, and together, I know we'll get it done. I'm Kevin O'Connor, CEO of B&B Bank. With high-touch service, flexible financing, and faster processes, we've helped businesses overcome some tough challenges. And we're here to help your business leverage tomorrow's opportunities and create a stronger economy for us all. B&B Bank is the bank for local business. Our lenders and bankers are standing by. Visit bnbbank.com to get started.
From Montauk to Manhattan, their work continues. B&B has been promoting Think Big, Shop Small. Recently, the bank gave out 3,000 Thanksgiving meals to Long Islanders in need, working with Island Harvest. Thanks again, B&B, for all your great work. I have to tell you, I'm really missing sharing the podium with my colleague, Juliet Papa, at the studio and meeting everyone at the reception. But we got the 1010 Wins team out here tonight in force. We have Jessica Clark, Laura Marola, Swatina Kakar, and Melissa Panza helping us out tonight, and much thanks. Mark Bazinski would tell you that what I really miss is all those tasting samples that come out at the studio. We have seen from Loyola granola bars to One Girl cookies to Harlem Blue Beer. It's been fun, and we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. And I want to thank Ben Maverick and Ivan Lee for the campaign that they're doing today and that continues every day. The I Believe in New York campaign that's highlighting those New Yorkers and those in the New York metro area who are going above and beyond during these challenging times. Now let me introduce our three judges. I already recognized B&B Bank, and tonight joining us as one of the three judges is Eileen O'Brien, their Senior Vice President. Eileen, welcome to the challenge.
Hi, how are you? I've done this challenge before. It's a very nice opportunity to interact with small businesses and give someone the opportunity. I actually judged last time with Kimmy. I hope you're doing well, Kimmy. I look forward to tonight's judging event.
You did a great job last time, and we're counting on you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next judge is a newcomer to the challenge, but I have to tell you, he's a real veteran and an all-star in helping small businesses throughout the New York area and beyond. The founder and CEO of Small Business Edge, my good friend, Brian Moran.
Rob, I'm thrilled to be here, and I appreciate it. I love hearing about success stories with small business owners. More importantly, I'd like to come back in a non-COVID environment so I can participate in that taste testing.
You and I, before and after, it would be great. Brian is great. I worked with you when I was commissioner during the Bloomberg years. I saw your great work, and I'm counting on you tonight.
I'm here for you.
All right, well, thank you. And she was the winner of our last Small Business Challenge. Kimmy Williams Davis, the owner of Bushwick Grind, a community cafe where strangers become friends quickly over a great cup of coffee, over breakfast, over lunch, over brunch. Congratulations again to Kimmy Williams Davis. Kimmy, how you doing?
Thank you. Still very, very grateful to be named a winner.
Well, you did a great job, and if I recall, it was on your birthday. It was a special birthday gift. Is that right?
It happened to be on my birthday.
And what you and your husband and your family have done in Bushwick is really, really tremendous. Can you talk a little bit about how it's going?
It's going really well. Having the winnings from this challenge is obviously tremendous. So we've been able to put that to good use. And we're back. We're fully operational, serving our community.
You also been talking, not only talking about, but doing it, is the use of pop-up shops. Can you tell us a little bit about the pop-up shops that take place in your shop?
Yeah, back when COVID first closed down businesses, it happened organically where we were just networking with other small businesses and decided to do what comes naturally, which is share resources. So it started with 1 or 2 small home-based business owners using our space, and it turned into a bona fide business until even now we rent this retail wall that I'm standing in front of. So even while we're open, folks pop up here, either the whole store or just our retail wall.
Your family has been engaged in this community. You have given back in so many different ways, involved with nonprofit organizations and urban gardens and so many other things. Can you talk just a little bit about that magic?
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just being a community cafe, being aware and attentive to what's going on in our community. So even now we have folks coming in from a local organization that's filling the community fridges that's all around Bushwick right now. We have folks that's been here since Thanksgiving downstairs in our little kitchen cooking up 500 pounds of potatoes. So if anybody wants a potato for free, we're giving them away.
Good for you. You've been such a beacon for this city and for the community. I just want to congratulate you. And I just have one more question before we move on. I understand you get a special celebrity that comes in there on a regular basis, a guy by the name of Larry Mullins, who's on the air all the time at 1010 Wins. He's one of the most popular guys. I understand it's his birthday today too.
Is it his birthday?
Yeah. But anyway, he comes in. What does he drink? What's the special the servings for Larry?
We'll call him consistent. He always gets a matcha latte with almond milk, a little bit of honey, and in the summertime he does that frozen. So
that's the secret sauce for Larry Mullins. What a great guy. And finally, I have to ask you, there's 10 people waiting. Any tips for them going into this great challenge that we have?
Well, I would say, there's 1,000 reasons to stay in the bed with the covers over your head. There's 1,000 reasons to shut your windows. Just let us hear one of why you do it every day, because we know it's not easy, but as small business owners, you fight and you do it, and we should be able to hear that come out in your pitches.
Well, you just gave us a reason why, and people will understand why you were chosen to be the Small Business Challenge winner, and also the Goldman Sachs 10,000 small business recipient. Congratulations for all you do.
Thank
Judges, are we ready?
Ready?
you.
We're ready to go. I'm going to ask each of the finalists to make a 90-second pitch, and then you will have 3.5 minutes to ask questions. Judges, if we go overtime, you are going to hear this sound. And that will mean to wrap it up. Let's begin. Shall we dance? Why not? With American Liberty Ballet, which provides performance opportunities for trained dancers looking to display their talents. They organize performances for all, so their artists and audiences can enjoy live ballet without breaking the bank. A great big welcome to Valerie Mae Brown. Valerie.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. My name is Valerie Mae Brown, and I am the owner and director of American Liberty Ballet. We are based in New York City and New Jersey, and our company operates in 2 different ways. One is we are a professional ballet company offering community performances throughout New York City and New Jersey, schools, nursing homes, and off-Broadway theaters. We are also a youth and adult academy offering performance opportunities and high quality training to all ages. My name is Valerie, and I'm from San Diego originally. I was trained and danced with San Diego Ballet and eventually received my education from the University of California at Irvine. where I got my degree in dance and education before moving here to pursue choreography and dance. Once here, I opened up American Liberty Ballet in 2011. The affiliate school started in 2015. It went from me teaching a couple classes as a resident artist at the Players Theater to a community outreach program in Harlem, and now our own location here in Union City, New Jersey. Our school is highly dedicated to providing high quality training. Some of our faculty have as grand as backgrounds as being from the Bolshoi, American Ballet Theater, New York City Ballet, Dance Theater of Harlem, and many more. And we offer sliding scale scholarships to our students so that it is accessible to all those who are dedicated and passionate enough to pursue this type of training. We opened this school in September, and then COVID hit in March. And within 2 days, we went entirely virtual. Almost all of our students came with us, and we were able to not only survive, but in many ways thrive. We were economically impacted, of course, because virtual classes cost less, but we are seeing students from all sorts of new places. And with the money that we hopefully win from you guys, we would keep our doors open, keep employing amazing artists, and provide a professionally sprung floor and ensure that our young people have a positive place to keep doing things that they love. Thank
Okay,
you.
well, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that pitch. Eileen, why don't you kick us off with the questioning?
Hi, Valerie. Very impressive. The dancers behind you are very impressive as well.
Oh, thank you.
You only opened the school in September. How are you doing from September to March before COVID hit?
Sure. We were doing pretty good, actually. I had a number that I wanted to hit. I was trying to get to 30 kids enrolled in order to cover expenses. And we were actually right at like 22 before COVID hit. So we were really working our way there. And the adult program was helping as well.
Okay, now when COVID hit, did the students stay? Did you immediately go to virtual, or has it been a
We
fall?
only lost maybe 5 kids when COVID hit. Pretty much everyone came virtual with us. Some are back in studios, some are still virtual. We go with whatever the parents feel comfortable with.
Okay, thank you.
Brian,
Yeah, congratulations, Valerie, by the way, on your success so far. What was the biggest obstacle that you had to deal with when COVID hit?
I think not seeing my students on a personal level, not seeing my kiddos was really hard. Of course, as a teacher, trying to teach young children is very challenging, and you have to get very creative. So I would say that was the biggest challenge, just in an intrinsic way, making sure that my students are still learning.
And looking forward into 2021, it sounds like you're a planner. I love hearing that you had a strategic goal when you opened up your business. What are you planning for in 2021? Do you have contingencies set up for hopefully students coming back in full time?
Yes, we do. I mean, we're a small program to begin with, and we want to keep it that way just to keep the quality really high. Like, we really only want about 10 students in a class anyway, because we're hands-on instructors. So we feel like we can actually accommodate that very well, of course, with safety measures. And we're just going to keep getting better at the virtual program as well. Like,
Kimmy, why don't you wrap it up for us?
okay, sure.
No, Kimmy, I'm calling Kimmy. I'm calling on one of our judges.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, Valerie, congratulations.
Thank you.
My question is, were you able to penetrate markets outside of New York? And if you do have new students outside of there, how would you retain them once you operate back as primarily a brick and mortar?
Yeah, that's actually, thank you for asking that, because that's been like such a silver lining for me in this whole thing, is all of a sudden we have students from Spain or from LA or wherever, and they actually are sticking with us, which is really cool. So despite all the chaos, there is like this greater thing that I think is very attainable for us now. So it's like a whole new business within the business, and I'm very excited about it.
Well, this is terrific. Thank you very much, Valerie, for that wonderful creative production. And I don't know how long they're going to have to dance behind you.
They had rehearsal anyway.
The activity and the energy and people, continuing to go. And I want to thank you for joining us on 1010 Wins tonight.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
All right, you bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
Boy, we are off to a great start, I have to tell you. That was fantastic. Next, it's so important to preserve irreplaceable landmarks, and the Council for the Vail Levitt Music Hall has been working overtime to save a late 19th century theater on the east end of Long Island in Riverhead. The theater is on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places with a wonderful and colorful history. Let's find out more from Robert Barter.
Hi, my name is Bob Barta, and I represent an all-volunteer nonprofit corporation which owns and operates the Vail Levitt Music Hall, a national and state historic site located in Riverhead, New York. With an annual budget of just under $60,000, we have always survived by squeezing maximum value out of every contribution that we receive. If awarded, this money would enable us to improve air quality and ventilation in our building while adapting a lower level multi-purpose space to produce web content. Because of the changes due to COVID, our new operating model is going to be to partner with creators to produce exclusive and original works, then promote and present those unique cultural educational programs to a wider community via the web. The music hall has been recognized by most local government officials as a key to downtown revitalization efforts. We have hosted numerous fundraisers for community members, other organizations in need, national charities, and even supported the pedestal work under the Statue of Liberty. We have specialty programs that go to underserved and handicapped audiences, which have been part of our programming for years. And so I'm very hopeful that the support you give will allow us to retool and go in a new direction. Thanks so much.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Robert, great work and all that you're doing. Who has the first question? Who wants to kick us off? How about Kimmy, how about you kicking us off here?
Oh, hi, Rob.
Hi.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So my question is, as you're pivoting to more online, like you said, web, what's the tech engagement or uplift involved in making that pivot?
Well, we actually have well, it's all volunteer staff, but we have a central tech person who has been involved not only with video and radio streaming broadcasts, and well, we've actually made use of that for certain productions at the Vail, not streaming them, but just recording and putting the basic work in place. So the idea, and we have another volunteer, a former board member of ours, who very kindly contributed a serious web upgrade for us, which we are planning to exploit now.
Eileen?
As the banker, hi Rob, how are you?
Hi.
I'm going to always ask the money questions. Your budget of approximately $60,000, is that primarily for fundraising, government grants?
A little bit through grants, but primarily through fundraising. And it really, a large part of that previously had been through productions. We had allowed our place to be for rent for certain things. We provided it for free for other events, for some of the fundraising events, but mostly it was from rental fees, contributions, and approximately depending on the year, between $5,000 and maybe $10,000 in government grants and support.
So not very much county support. Okay, thank you.
No.
Ryan?
Bob, it's congratulations, first of all, on being a finalist. What are your, so you a lot of your revenue comes in through the fundraising and the events. Now the events you haven't been able to have, I'm assuming, right? No,
Correct.
Zero events.
Since March.
What are your expectations for in 2021 as far as your events and fundraising?
Well, we hope to be able to resume some level of events, but they're going to be limited to start because of the ventilating and air safety issues. That's one of the reasons why UVC type systems added into our existing air system for the downstairs part, which is a smaller sort of black box theater. The old historic theater is the upstairs opera house, 225 seats. I don't see that opening up anytime soon, other than almost as a museum kind of thing for looking around, until we can expand the air ventilation things to that. And of course, depending on what's going to happen with social distancing, with only 225 seats in the theater and at an average ticket price of about $15 or $20, we used to need to get about 75 or 80 people, which would, under the new rules, maybe be above our capacity. So this is why we've decided to try to retool ourselves in this web direction, which is more economical and will allow us a slower growth going forward, but to build up a subscription base. And as I say, for unique programming, sort of niche things that we can try to exploit, do something that nobody else is doing.
Well, I have to tell you, Bob, I want to thank you for this important work. You know, saving landmarks, saving parts of our history is so important.
Thank you.
What we're doing in Riverhead, it is saving the character of that special community.
And the volunteers, the team that I work with are just absolutely, they're like family to me. They really are.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Does anyone of the judges remember the song, I Get Knocked Down Again, I Get Up Again?
Yep.
Remember do you remember Chumbawamba?
Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba. Our third finalist has been Chumbawamba, been knocked down and has gotten up again. York Hill Seafood delivers high quality frozen seafood directly to the residents of the Northeast Bronx. They lost their storefront after Superstorm Sandy and fought on. And just as they're doing today in serving the community that has food shortages, long before the pandemic, they continue the good fight. Welcome, Shane Bryden.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you don't mind me comparing you to Chumbawamba.
Not at all. I remember that song well. Good afternoon, everyone. As Mr. Walsh said, my name is Shane Bryden, and I'm the owner and operator of York Hill Seafood. York Hill Seafood is a direct-to-consumer marketer and deliverer of frozen seafood. Essentially, we purchase, repackage, add value, and deliver fresh fish and frozen seafood directly to our consumers. We primarily focus on lobster tails, shrimp, crab legs, and a full line of fish, including salmon and whole red snapper. As you know, seafood is one of those things where you generally would like to look behind the gills before you purchase it, but our customers depend so heavily on us and they trust us so much that we basically show up at their door with a variety of seafood, depending on the order that they choose, and then they purchase from us. We've been in business for over 10 years as a seasonal company, and then we incorporated 3 years ago, and now we're a full-time operation. We generally service the Northeast Bronx, but we also do deliveries in Harlem and Lower Westchester. So far, under this COVID and this pandemic, we've actually been able to grow our business because we use a more of a guerrilla style marketing around our neighborhood. We put up these basically yard signs that advertise our wares, and then the phone just continues to ring. Whereas a lot of businesses are suffering, we're actually growing more rapidly. And it's a little bit weird because our online presence is not that great. That's why we entered this contest. We're hoping that if we were able to win this contest, we would be able to build out our website correctly, allow us to enable online ordering, as well as double and triple our inventory. If we do these things, we feel that we can continue our exponential growth.
Fantastic. Kimmy, I jumped the gun before the pitch, and now I'm going to go to you, for the first question. Nice job, Shane.
Thank you so much, Mr. Walsh.
Shane. So I guess as a small business owner, always be selling. If you moved a little to the left or the right, we can see your phone number.
There you go.
So my question is seafood. I mean, does your packaging come with any instructions or any digital
We actually offer
instructions on?
we actually offer recipes on our Facebook page. However, we also, I mean, generally when I show up, like, this is what our packaging looks like. This is 2 pounds of jumbo shrimp. So as you can see, I mean, seafood is one of those things where people are really wary of it. So that's why we use full clear packaging so they could see exactly what they're getting. So when we show up, this is what we bring. This is 2 pounds of jumbo shrimp. We offer 6 different sizes of lobster tails. We have for cold water tails as well as warm water tails. But believe it or not, our best seller are Alaskan snow crab legs.
Wow.
But to fully answer your questions, I offer cooking tips directly to the consumer. But most people know what they're doing in the kitchen.
Eileen, are you getting hungry?
No, I don't eat seafood and I have no idea what I'm doing in the kitchen. And I was going to ask about the marketing as well, because that sign is important. So primarily you market just.
These signs, they're yard signs that we
Yep.
put up all around the Northeast Bronx.
And when you say your revenues have grown this year, how well
Yes.
have you done in 2020?
In 2020, year to date, we're about at 65,000.
Wow, okay. And where do you have a warehouse? Is that where you package this, or?
We actually work from a shared storage space, which is a freezer warehouse.
Okay.
Mhm.
How many employees?
Right now, it's only 2 of us.
Okay,
We seasonally employ 4 to 5 individuals, and then I use some of the delivery services just for deliveries.
okay,
But
thank you.
primarily, it's 2 full-time employees, and then when we're seasonal, when we're out delivering, it's between 5 and 8 of us.
Okay, thank you.
Brian, do you have a hot grill or a question?
So yeah, I did take down his number and I do plan on calling him after this is done. And I love seafood, Shane.
Nice.
So I have 2 questions for you.
Sure.
The first question is, did COVID interrupt your supply chain at all? Did you find that you weren't able to get the food that you needed?
No, it did not interrupt our supply chain. In fact, it moved us from being an affordable luxury to being an essential item. We work directly out of Fulton Fish Market. And so we had full access 24 hours between Sunday night and Friday morning. So it didn't interrupt us at all.
Fantastic. All right, and the next question I have is around social media. You
Yes.
know, you mentioned that you would use the money if you won to build out a website and to build up your digital presence. You know, but social media in large part is free. So
Yes.
what are you doing on, you mentioned Facebook, but maybe some of the other social platforms like Instagram or Twitter or Pinterest, because it would seem like you could really grow your customer base into advocates and ambassadors.
We use Instagram, but not mostly as a marketing tool. We use it just to let people know when we're going to be available, as well as to showcase new product. Again, we're doing everything 24/7. So I honestly haven't spent that much time focusing on social media.
All right, I'm gonna leave you with one last, this is a freebie from me to you. The
Thank
hashtag, I love York Hill Seafood, should be on everything you do. Every bag that you send out should have the hashtag, I love or I heart York Hill Seafood. And let's see what kind of conversations start taking place online. And maybe people can show some of the recipes that they cook up with your food.
We've had that on Facebook, but I've made a mental note of that. Thank you so much, Brian.
You're
And
welcome.
at that point, I got to cut this off, and it's great that Moran is already giving tips. You know, this is fantastic. Hey, it's great, and I'm glad you're still going strong in the Bronx. That's
Thank you so
fantastic.
much, everyone. I appreciate the time.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Take care.
Our 4th finalist has tackled a very important health issue. Texture Food Innovations provides individuals with swallowing difficulties a pureed menu that is visually appealing, tasteful, nutritious, smooth, and yes, easy to swallow. Let's find out more from Carol Letzter. Carol.
Hi. Anyway, well, I'm co-founder of Textured Food Innovations, and our mission as speech pathologists has been to improve the lives of children and adults who are experiencing swallowing difficulties due to a variety of health conditions that impact on their ability to eat regular food. So instead, yes, they have to eat pureed foods to receive adequate nutrition. And until now, pureed foods have looked like UFOs. Can you identify these UFOs? So our passion was to create pureed foods that look like everybody else's and taste delicious. So our team put our hearts and our heads together, and we came up with a beautiful, beautiful contoured pureed molded food that's nutritious, provides an opportunity for people to dine with dignity and look forward to eating meals with everybody once again. So our passion as speech pathologists has been to provide not only the most amazing meals, but an opportunity to improve their social and emotional well-being as well. And we were coming along really, really well until we reached this crazy pandemic. And like everybody else, we were shut down and we could not open our doors to our beautiful commercial kitchen. But we're back on track and we're just about there. And now, in light of patients that have COVID-19, our mission and our passion is even stronger than ever because there's so many more people now that are diagnosed with swallowing problems. So now we have an even bigger job ahead of us. We need more of our special molds that look like this so that we can produce our products. So this grant opportunity would give us the money that is necessary so that we could purchase this large quantity of molds, we can produce our food and help so many people. So even though our hearts are heavy because of the pandemic, our passion is stronger than ever because we know that we're going to be improving so many lives and saving lives as well.
And so, Carol, so needed. And thank you and your team for all the work you're doing. That's great.
We're trying very hard.
Judges, who wants to kick this one off?
I'll start. First of all, Carol, congratulations on being named a finalist. Tell me a little bit more about your customer base. Do you find that it's local? Is it statewide, national?
Well, right now, our goal is to serve the tri-state area because we're located on Long Island in Cole Place. Our goal is to be able to serve this product on a national level because we can ship it frozen. And our clientele right now is people in nursing homes, people in assisted living, people in hospitals, and children as well. We're going to be having a children's line.
Okay, and maybe I didn't hear this, but how long has Textured Food Innovations been around?
Well, we've been around for about 3 years trying to get ourselves up and running. So we're really a startup company. We actually have been working with our developer who is from Australia. He's been doing this successfully in Australia. So we have a wonderful opportunity that he had to learn in Australia, but we have his IP and we have a wonderful menu that we're planning on. The beauty of our food is we don't use any commercial thickeners whatsoever. There's nothing like that here in this country because whatever pureed food is around now uses, I don't want to say the names because it's not right, but they use commercial thickeners which are loaded with chemicals. And so one of the things that we're doing is we're working also not only with people that they may have had strokes or neurological problems, but they have cancer. And patients that have cancer, as you know, may be on chemotherapy and they're given enough chemicals in their body. So we're trying to do something that alleviates that, and we're giving them something that's pure and wholesome and delicious.
Thank you.
Eileen, Kimmy?
Yeah, awesome. Congratulations. And, what a wonderful niche market that you are doing. And thank you for, your attention to, people who are struggling in this area. You mentioned that the proceeds from the competition would go toward buying more molds. I was wondering, the molds that you just showed, are those shapes have for a certain reason? And are you going to make more different shapes?
Well, actually, the shapes that I showed you, this particular one is going to be a pork chop. So, so all of the molds that we have, yes, they're all different shapes. So some are corn on the cob, and some are carrots, and some are broccoli, and some are cauliflower, and some are rib steak, and some are chicken legs. And the wonderful thing that we're doing is we're making molds out of pureed hot dogs. So we want to also have a line of food for children, because there are children that have all kinds of medical problems and they have to eat pureed food, and they have a right, like everybody else, to enjoy food and to go to a party. So we're going to have little chicken legs, and we're going to have French fries. We're going to have, of course, we're going to have carrots and broccoli, which they probably don't like any other child, but we're going to have that to offer them as well. So yeah, we're going to have a nice menu of different foods.
That's awesome.
We have time for one more question.
Okay, hi Carol, how are you? It's Eileen
Hi.
O'Brien. How do you market this right now? Where are you selling to?
Well, actually, my partner and I have been in private practice for, actually our entire team has been in private practice for over 30 years. So because we've been around, we know many people in the field. We know people in nursing homes and people in hospitals, on assisted living. So we have many, many contacts already. And not only in New York, but in New Jersey and Connecticut. And we have some colleagues in Florida as well. So we actually have administrators of hospitals and food service providers that are been waiting for our food for 3 years. And so finally we can open our doors very soon.
Oh, great. Well, thank you very much for all the great work that you're doing. This is terrific, and particularly during these times. Appreciate you joining us tonight, and thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
No senior left behind. That is the mission of our 5th finalist. Zoom Rides help seniors stay independent on their terms and in their homes. It is a resource that a senior can call upon and includes essential errands, hiring a handyman, and helping with chores. Now let's welcome Trish Manzo to hear much more. Trish, welcome.
Hi, my name is Trish Manzo. I am the CEO of Zoom Rides for Seniors, and I'm located in Bergen County, New Jersey, and I've helped over 200 seniors in the area. We are a private pay concierge service providing vital needs to the elderly, medical transportation, pharmaceutical delivery, groceries, companionship, and the most acute need, transportation to dialysis. I consider my business and myself essential to helping clients that are isolated, widowed, suffer from dementia, have disabilities, and unfortunately, some are estranged from their families and their communities. Example, I have an 89-year-old client named Audrey who called me because she had fallen. I called the police, I dropped everything, we rushed over there, we knocked down her door, we rushed her to the hospital. Now she's fighting for her life. I am her only companion, I am her only visitor, I am essential. When the pandemic hit in March and everything came to a complete stop, I still had to take my clients to dialysis and they still needed groceries to eat. Before COVID-19, I had 2 full-time employees and I was in the process of expanding. If I win this challenge, I'll be able to continue my pre-pandemic plan, which was considering hiring another caregiver. It will help defray the cost of advertising. I'll add additional communities to my roster. But my long-term goal is to provide this essential business to other surrounding states. It was an honor just to be nominated. Thank you for your consideration.
Well, thank you, and thank you for the great work that you're doing in Bergen County, New Jersey, and for all those families, particularly so many families struggling during these times, and we're not over it yet, and so it becomes so much more important. Brian, do you want to kick us off for this?
Yeah, sure. Trish, congratulations on being named a finalist. Tell me a little bit more about how the business model works. So your drivers, are they Are they independent contractors that you hire, and what's the vetting process like for that?
Well, presently I work full-time with my daughter. We're both full-time caregivers
Okay, so
and drivers.
so it's just the two of you that are doing the
It's
driving.
the two of us, and this is why I'm in need. And before the pandemic, I was in the process of hiring another part-time caregiver to help me with the other seniors that are, calling. I was working 6 days a week.
Okay. Great.
Eileen,
Hi, Trish. Very professional presentation.
Thank you.
Very inclusive. Do you hire per ride? Is it a charge per ride, a charge per service? Is there a concierge where they pay a certain fee?
It depends on the family. They all pay for a registration fee once they're registered, and in my roster, the senior can call me personally to set up rides or transport, whatever they need. Sometimes they need groceries. Sometimes they just need a little bit of companion. Sometimes they need to go to a medical office for an appointment. Sometimes I get calls from Bergen Services, Christian Community Center, the Jewish homes. I'm already known in the area, so people already call me. I haven't really been advertising because it's more word of mouth.
It is
I'm
absolutely
very
a great
busy
need.
right now.
There's no doubt about it. There's definitely need. We've all had elderly parents, and there's definitely needs, and the pandemic has isolated these people.
Absolutely.
How many members do you have currently?
So before the pandemic, I was serving over 30 regular seniors, 30 per week. I was very busy, and I really was in the process of hiring another caregiver in February when this happened. But because I was just, I was busy from 7 in the morning all the way till 4 in the afternoon. And my daughter, who's a graduate from Montclair University, was also helping me full time.
Okay.
So I was in the process of expanding, and I really wanted to expand in other communities also because of the need.
It's a very big need. I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Kimmy,
Congratulations and incredible. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are certainly an essential worker.
Thank you.
I'm just curious, I can't imagine the logistics and how you scale. My question is, one, are your clients able to pay through their insurance? And two, maybe too broad of a question, but how do you balance the number of care providers to the number of clients that you have?
Like I mentioned in my first paragraph, I am a private pay concierge service.
Okay.
So the families will hire me. Some families just hire me to take their parent out once a week because they don't want their parent to be isolated. So I have families call me. I have the community call me to help seniors on a regular basis. I'm a very organized person, so I know exactly. I keep a very strategic calendar and schedule. So that's the only way I'll be able to handle 30 clients per week. I have to have a very, very careful, organized schedule in order for me to balance all these seniors.
well, thank you very much. And thank you for the time you spent with us. I know how busy you are and the work that you're doing of connecting the dots for these essential services for seniors and giving them hope and giving them a lift. So thank you very much again for joining us.
Thank you. It's just an honor to be nominated.
Well, you're doing such great work. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Kimmy, if you're looking to start a rock band, I have a person for you.
Okay.
If so, our 6 finalists can help you out. Based in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, Main Drag Music has been serving up vintage and new musical equipment such as guitars, amps, drums, basses, and so much more over the last 2 decades. Let us welcome Carl Myers. Carl.
Thank you. Thank you. Should I start right in?
Give it to us.
You got it. Okay. My name is Carl Myers. I'm the founder and president of Main Drag Music. We're an independent musical instrument retail and repair shop operating in Williamsburg, Brooklyn since 1997. We do a fair amount of e-commerce, but we're primarily a brick and mortar store with a strong local and now multi-generational customer base. Like all brick and mortars, we've had to reimagine our business to survive, and we developed a new model that focuses on the things that make us unique: knowledge, culture, and community. Our goal is to encourage the next generation to play real musical instruments, as well as promote a culture of repair and reuse. Last year, we built a new facility with capacity for workshops and classes, as well as a venue intended for community-based events, concerts, and live streaming. In February of this year, we moved in, but in March, COVID closed our doors. Due to the build out and move, we were in a weak position and I was forced to furlough the entire staff. We reopened in July, but foot traffic in New York City is still just a fraction of what it used to be. We've only been able to bring back one of our front of house staffers. As a result, I've been bogged down with daily operations and haven't been able to move the rest of our plan forward. With this money, we'll bring back at least one staffer, freeing me up to get back to the plan. We've got great programs ready to go that can easily be modified for COVID restrictions, so there's no reason we won't be able to start right away. When COVID has passed, we'll be ready to grow and meet the huge pent-up demand for community activities, particularly for young people. We just need that little push. Thank you.
Well, it's great. It's great what you're doing, and I really, really appreciate that. Who wants to kick us off on this?
I'll go first. Hi, Carl.
Hi.
I'm so sorry about the timing. What you were doing, obviously you've been around since 1997, and what you were doing was the right thing for the community. You were in Williamsburg before Williamsburg was hip. I give you credit for that. I do have a nephew that lives there now, and it's obviously the place to be. How is your e-commerce business going? Is it enough to help you hang on? We're all hoping.
That is how we stayed in business during all this.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say for a long time, our e-commerce hovered at around 20% of our gross revenue. And then during COVID, it became, 95% or something like that. We did a little bit of local delivery and local pickup stuff during COVID, but we weren't really set up for that. We sell mostly on a platform called Reverb, which is kind of like it's a e-commerce platform specifically for musical instruments. That's actually part of the thing we're working on right now, is we're building a new website that hopefully will launch Monday. That's much more geared towards local shoppers. So kind of like a Grubhub approach, where people now aren't going to be just walking into a store, but they will pick up their phone to see what the local store has. So we're adapting for that.
Okay, thank you.
I'll go next. Carl, first, congratulations. So part of your revenue is to fix instruments, right, for people and sell instruments to them?
We do both. People bring instruments in of their own to have repaired. That's probably about 40% of gross revenue when we're operating under normal circumstances. And we also do buy stuff that needs to be repaired. In the future, we're looking to start a program where people can donate instruments that need repair. And then we have classes for kids to teach the kids how to fix this stuff. And then we sell the stuff to keep those programs going. So it's sort of a perpetuating cycle.
I love all those ideas. And it's interesting. I would think that with COVID, that, everybody stuck at home, that there would be this, I've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar. Yeah. Or the piano. Did you find that there was an increase in demand when COVID hit for that?
Well, an increase in our e-commerce demand for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't obviously offset our normal brick and mortar operations, and we also deal in a little more esoteric type of stuff. Fender, which is one of the bigger guitar manufacturers, actually posted their biggest sales year ever this year. But that would mostly be more in sort of the down market, beginner stuff. We're a little more of a pro esoteric shop, or always have been. So we did see some benefit for that, but it definitely didn't offset the lack of brick and mortar business.
Got it.
Kimmy, you want to bring us home?
Yeah, Carl, hey neighbor.
Hello.
So having a 10-year-old at home, I'm kind of wondering, do you have opportunities to leverage more of an online presence where maybe you may partner with other B2Bs where I can kind of buy an instrument and get them some lessons and that be my new babysitter?
Yeah. I mean, we probably won't go into the lessons per se. We might partner with others. School of Rock is one that's all over New York City that a lot of our former employees actually now work at School of Rock. There's a local business called Williamsburg School of Music that we have partnered with in the past. A lot of those places are still kind of finding their way, and there's sort of a limit to how much you can push the Zoom music lessons, particularly with younger children. It's hard. So I would think that would be a path forward, but what we're looking to really do is focus kids more on the culture of fixing instruments and even making instruments, that sort of thing, and as well as making music. There's an existing program that we're partnering with that actually helps special needs and autistic children learn how to make beats and produce their own music. And that's something that we're going to be moving into once we can reopen that, particularly especially, sorry.
Well, that's wonderful. Well, speaking of music, Swatina, just jumped in and gave us a bit. Paul, Main Drag Music, wonderful what you're doing in Brooklyn and throughout our city. Thank you very much for joining us tonight.
Thank you, guys.
If you're wondering who Koki the chef is, our next finalist created a fun-loving character with a very important message. Going into schools and community centers, teaching hands-on nutritional cooking classes to children and adults in Bronx neighborhoods where there is such a great need. Helping New Yorkers learn how to make healthier food choices. Let's bring on the founder, Tanya Lopez. Welcome.
Thank you, Rob. Hello, everyone. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So I just need you guys to do something for me. For 2 seconds, close your eyes and imagine taking a trip to Spain where your kitchen is the passport. My name is Tanya Lopez, and I can take you there with my social enterprise, Koki the Chef. We provide cultural cooking experiences for private groups or corporations looking to build their diversity and inclusion program or team building. These experiences not only take the guest away to another country, but also provide awareness and education on cultural differences and traditions. Our events provide the guests with ingredients they need to have an authentic Spanish cuisine. Ingredients like paella meal kit or Spanish wine and cheese delivered straight to their door. Guests are also immersed in flamenco dancing and music, all in the comfort of their home. COVID-19 made us see that pivoting was the only way to survive. So we have to change our way of cooking, how we taught our cooking classes. In the last 2 months, I'm so proud to say that our unique Spanish experiences increased our sales by 200%. With the 10K, I plan to increase customer acquisition, smart marketing campaigns, and transition to hybrid experiences. Thank you.
Well, it's great to see you. And the pivot is fantastic. They probably miss you in those schools and community centers, but it's great to see this new creativity. Kimmy, do you want to kick us off?
Sure, congratulations. And I love the logo. If I see that on anything, I would want to lean in and learn more. It's beautiful.
Thank you, thank you.
You mentioned the 200% increase. Can you provide a little bit more detail on what drove that?
Sure. It was a lot of trial and error too, because what I did first was I did a lot of the social ad marketing kind of thing, and I really didn't see the ROI on it. So I sort of reached out to influencers. I reached out to people who have a large following, who actually were the people who would talk and spread the word, people that other people trust. And that's the way I was actually able to make my company together when I was teaching cooking classes in the Bronx, because in the schools, they don't just let anybody in. So you sort of have to build that relationship. And building the relationship with the influencers and they having confidence that, hey, your classes are really cool, let's spread the word. And that's how our sales increased.
Brian, Eileen, either one?
Hi, Tanya. It's Eileen.
Hi.
O'Brien. How are you? I really like your presentation. The way you set everything up is very intriguing. I've already made this clear. I'm not a foodie, but I'd like to cook with you. Quite honestly, yes, that was appealing. You sell cooking lessons. Is that how you do? How do you actually, what is your product? Like, what are you offering me?
All right. So basically, I'm offering everybody an online experience. So I'm sort of like, since we're all stuck in the home, I'm providing people like a trip to another country, since we can really go to Spain or Italy or anything right now. So for 2 hours, I take that person and sort of transport them virtually, of course, to Spain. And with that, we provide them with the meal kit, which is the rice, the saffron, the extra virgin olive oil, and paprika, and the pan. So they don't have any excuse to say, hey, I don't have the ingredients to cook paella. And the recipe that I have them make, it's super, super easy. They love it, and the ingredients, they can use it over and over again. So, that's what I'm trying to give people, like an experience that they can, a memorable experience, so they can just forget for 2 hours what's going on out there,
No, it's exciting.
and just be in Spain for 2 hours.
Thank you.
Congratulations on
Thank
being a
you.
finalist, Tanya. How long has your business been around? And prior to COVID, what was your best channel for finding new members? Or I'm assuming people don't take just one class, right? Do they sign up for a series of classes?
Okay. So in the beginning, it was through word of mouth. Like I said, I had to build a relationship with my community, because my community is it's not that easy. It's more like, let's get to know this person before we bring them in. So building that trust with my community, I was able to apply for a couple of grants with American Heart Association. So creating partnerships with Health First, American Heart Association, American Diabetes, I was able to bring to come into these schools and health organizations and teach there. And I would teach, either they would hire me by contract for a workshop, or for 1 or 2 classes, or whatever it is that they felt that was needed at that time.
And so how long have you been in business doing
That's
this?
right. So I've been in business since 2007. Actually, it was when the market crashed, I decided to make a business. I was laid off. I was bored. I was like, why not?
Great.
But it was,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Tanya. Thanks for coming in. And again, this is where I'm missing the studio folks. Tanya would be
Yes.
cooking.
Ta-da.
Yeah, I mean, this would be great. But again, thank you for all you're doing, and great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next finalist developed an interest in landscaping while playing in an abandoned lots and parks in Brooklyn. Fieldform is a landscape design build firm. This team of designers, builders, and gardeners are passionate about sustainability, conservation, and workforce development. Let's welcome Samuel Robinson.
The future classroom in New York City is the garden. In 2020, we've experienced the value of our personal surroundings, our personal space. And as a lifelong New Yorker, I've seen the differences in people's experiences based on where they live and where they work. And I can say that if you're in Bedford-Stuyvesant, where we're located, you've had quite a different experience than if you're in Park Slope or another neighborhood in Brooklyn. So at Fieldform, we have been focused on designing and finding the tools necessary to build these types of spaces, which we've been doing for a variety of clients over the last few years. And we are happy to say that we had a profitable year in 2020, despite the challenges. We were able to hit our mark of grossing $500,000. And we didn't really skip much of a beat. And that was mostly because of the fact that we were able to provide a huge amount of value in people's experiences. So the experience that somebody may have in their personal space is something that we're able to offer. And we worked with some really high-end clients such as Louis Vuitton, and we've worked with people around the corner from our workshop in Stuyvesant Heights. So we understand both sides of the spectrum of the business, and we're made up of a compact team of an architect, a designer, a builder, a finance person, and myself. My background is in horticulture. A little bit about myself: I went to the Bronx High School of Science. I understand the importance of education. I understand when education is done right, and I understand the value of science being taught, especially in the outdoors. And we feel as if in 2021, we're interested in steering towards more of an after-school model, specifically focused on horticultural educational curriculum. So
I have to stop you there.
Sure.
All right, thank you very much. 90 seconds. Okay, thank you. I heard the bell and I finished it up. We'll get right into the conversation and really appreciate all that you're doing in the communities, whether it's Bed-Stuy or surrounding communities. Eileen, do you want to kick us off?
Hi, Samuel. You obviously had a lot to talk about. I am curious about the Green City Force and the NYCHA urban involvement, what that involves.
We worked with Green City Forest in 2014 on a project in the Wagner houses in Manhattan. That was a program where we were helping them facilitate a greenhouse and a raised bed, essentially an urban farm. So we helped them develop the design for part of the layout, and we installed it. We also helped them a little bit with a team teaching program. I saw the details of how that program worked. I saw some of the challenges. I saw some of the ways it didn't work. I don't think many people were actually hired and got jobs from that program, even though that was part of their vision. Our program, we're interested in facilitating the people that go through our program to work as both teachers as well as builders. So there's an interaction between the company itself and then also working with students in the future. And we currently have one intern who's a second-year student at Howard University. He took the year off. He's been working with us to develop this. His mother actually reached out to me directly and told me that she wanted him to intern with us. So I've kind of developed this idea around him and his motivation and his desire to be more engaged in the neighborhood directly. I saw there was a bit of a disconnect with Green City Forest in terms of who possessed the underlying vision and how it was being executed.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Kimmy? Or go ahead, Brian.
Samuel, congratulations on being named a finalist. I just have a quick question for you. When COVID hit, how did you pivot your business, or did you even need to? Did you introduce new programs? Did you change programs around? What happened to you on your path to where you are today?
So as I said before, we create experience in spaces, and we do that quite well. We were doing it at the highest level in 2019, which happened to be in Manhattan. It was easy for us to transition and do it at the highest level in our surrounding neighborhood. And essentially we went from 70% of business in Manhattan in 2019 to 70% of business in Stuyvesant Heights, Brooklyn in 2020.
Wow,
So
congratulations.
Kimmy, do you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. You're right. I think articulating the need for what you're doing and coming into areas outside of Manhattan and underserved areas where these personal spaces can be developed. Thank you for doing that. I'm curious, how will, if awarded the grant, will those funds be used?
we developed a kit of parts, which are basically the most simple, efficient modular designs of everything that we've built in the past few years. But that includes greenhouse, raised beds, stormwater management, and we're interested in finding temporary contracts with vacant lots that are in the process of probably being developed. For a small percentage of what they're at in order to facilitate these programs. And we have the curriculum developed as well.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks for all what you're doing for New York. Appreciate you spending the night with us, and good luck.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Okay, here in our city, we're seeing many new startup tech companies along with big giant tech companies coming to the Big Apple. Techie Youth, a 5-year-old nonprofit, works with connecting our youth to technology and then helping them with jobs. Let's find out more. Welcome, Eric Benari.
Hi, how are you? All right, Techie Youth is a 501c3 registered charity of New York City, as you'd mentioned. And we have been operating for about 5 years. What we've been doing is teaching foster kids and homeless teens and other at-risk youth how to make a career in technology. I'm the original founder, and the idea came about 6 years ago, approximately, when I was having a random conversation with a foster care caseworker who informed me what happens to foster kids as they reach their age of emancipation. They basically lose their housing, foster care benefits on their birthday. And this deeply disturbed me. It really bothered me. And my immediate thought was, how can we fix this? My background was a CTO of several companies. I'd worked in a senior role at Yahoo at that point. And I said, can we apply technology to fix this problem, and particularly teach these youth tech skills, and so they can have a career in IT and then be able to actually work in tech and be financially self-sustaining. I passed the idea by several CTOs who associates of mine, and they thought it was a good idea. So we kind of started to go through the foster agencies one by one and literally try to recruit youth in from their foster agencies or from the group homes, which is basically like an orphanage for teenagers in New York City. And by November of 2015, we had gathered about a dozen foster kids and had our first class in the Microsoft Store's shared classroom space 3 days after the store opened on Fifth Avenue. And by the end of that class, the entire dozen kids could all disassemble a computer down to parts and reassemble it, and it worked. So at that point, we realized we were onto something. Fast forward to the beginning of 2020, and we had over 800 youth go through our classroom doors around New York City. Obviously, the pandemic is stopping us from doing large gatherings because our class sizes were 60 plus students. So we've moved to e-learning, and we right now have over 15,000 youth enrolled in our e-learning programs. But these are youth worldwide, predominantly in English-speaking regions of Asia and Africa that are impoverished. So we want to go back to our core mission to help foster kids and try to approach the roughly 3,000 foster care teenagers in New York City and get them all involved in our program. And that's what we need this grant for.
That's great. What an inspiring story. Thank you very much. Eileen, do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with this whole thing. Thank you so much, Eric. I've often thought about the same thing, like what happens to these kids when they get out. As far as what you've been doing for 5 years now. Success stories, are they gainfully employed? Do you stay in touch with these children?
So we have a full-time employee who does nothing but follow-up care with these youth, and each one has a different need because their lives are all in some way havoc. I mean, they grew up without any parental supervision, many of them. They were in like facilities their whole life, a lot of them. So dozens of our kids are currently working in tech as a result of this. We have one really great story that I love. It's near and dear to me. One of our students is a teacher now of technology skills, teaching kids who are like first grade age kids in Harlem at a different charity, slightly different purpose to charity, but he's basically did what he learned at Techie Youth and replicated it out to a younger age bracket. And I love that. That's my favorite of our success stories, but we have a lot of them.
That's why I'm here. Thank you very much. I think it's also very impressive that you follow up with these kids.
Absolutely.
Thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Kimmy, what do you think?
I think that's tremendous. Thank you for what you're doing. I actually have worked in the tech sector for over 30 years now, career working in IT. So studies show that children from in the, high risk areas actually don't even have access to internet and computers. So now that you pivoted, virtually, how do you handle the basic need of having to have access to hardware and software to be able to join your program?
So the short answer is they absolutely need a computer to do this now that there's e-learning, but we also have a program that we just literally launched several days ago called Foster Gifts. It's a website, fostergifts.com. And what we basically do is give out free things that people donate to us. We are currently working with a technology company to get about $100,000 worth of laptops distributed to students. So this is something that we haven't rolled out yet. Right now, Foster Gifts is used to distribute suits and formal wear that was Brooks Brothers donated to us, the foster kids. But we have it in the next several months in plans, assuming that it works out, to give out $100,000 of laptops, which is roughly 300 to 400 or 500, depending on. We're not the one buying it; the donor is buying it. So that's how we're going to achieve that. But the bottom line is they absolutely would need computer access, but they don't necessarily need a computer. I mean, a phone can take our course too. So it's pretty low barrier to entry, and a lot of the demographics where we're serving right now, which is like third world areas of Asia and Africa, they have phones. They're able to register for our courses, and they can speak English in a lot of those regions. So it's not a big barrier; it's a small one.
Great. Eric, congratulations, first of all, on being named a finalist. So in 5 years, you've helped 800 kids get through your program. So I have just two quick questions. First, how long does the program last? And is it like a set curriculum?
So the program in our classroom, not the e-learning one, that was a 150-hour classroom that was done a very intensive 5-hour-long days for 6 weeks of 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday. So it's a lot of courseware, and it is set. Our online program is different because it's self-paced, and there's about 30 different career tracks that the youth can choose from. Each of them teach how they can earn income working online from a computer. So they're learning on the computer how to make money from the computer, and they can pick any of the 30 tracks, ranging from learning artificial intelligence to trading Bitcoin and stocks to doing web development, and the idea, or music production. There's a whole bunch of tracks on there. Each one is a little bit different timing, but they're roughly 5 to 20 hours long per unit of e-learning. Some kids are going to need more time, some are less, but it's self-paced, so it's kind of up to the youth.
One last question before I get dinged. So post-pandemic, you'll go back to focusing on those 3,000 foster kids in New York City that you mentioned. But will you continue that virtual learning where you said you're reaching about 15,000 youths around the world?
We're not waiting post-pandemic. That's what we want this award for, to be able to reach out to those kids and let them use our e-learning right now, the 3,000 youth in New York City who are currently in foster care and age 13 plus. There's about 9,000 kids in care altogether, but the younger ones are not for today. Post-pandemic, we're not sure if we're going to go back to classroom because we went from 800 students in 5 years to 15,000 in several months. So I don't know what that will happen, but we also don't know when that will happen, like post-pandemic. But for the meantime, we're not waiting. We're trying to help these kids now, and that's what we're trying to raise these funds. Foster kids are very difficult to get hold of because they're wardens of the state, many of them, and we have to go through their caseworkers and their agencies. We can't just pick up a phone and call them. So it's very hard to get through, and it's not hard like as difficult, but time consuming and resource consuming. So that's why we need the resources literally just to be able to get to all 3,000 kids in New York City.
Great. Congratulations.
It's great that you're not waiting. And what a inspiring story, heartfelt, and boy, this is terrific. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much. It's a labor of love. I mean, I love what I do at Techie Youth.
You could feel it. Thank you. And our final presentation for the night, Tree Army, a full-service tree company founded by two veterans. They happen to be a couple that helps fellow veterans with their transition from military service. Tree Army donates wood to veterans to heat their homes, donates mulch to community gardens, and provides services at disaster zones across the country. Please welcome Joelle Lynch.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joelle Lynch, and I co-founded Tree Army in 2015 with my husband, Nicholas. After recognizing how much tree work and disaster relief work can really benefit veterans who are struggling in their transition to the civilian workforce. We started Tree Army with only one chainsaw that we purchased at a local big box store, all while we were dealing with our own transition from the U.S. Army to the civilian life. Since then, we have grown our business to a 13,000 square foot lot with 15 trucks. And by continuing to expand our services in 2020, we're on track to triple our revenue since 2019. We're really proud that our business model has not only proven to be so profitable, but also that Tree Army continues to be able to serve our community and each other, even after the military. We only employ veterans and other family members of those in service, and we give priority hiring to disabled veterans, with the hopes that we can help them get on their feet, combat veteran suicide and veteran homelessness. In addition, we donate all of our hardwood to veterans to heat their homes and all of our chips to community gardens to help beautify the community. When we are contracted by FEMA to do disaster relief, both for federal and state work, we also extend our services to voluntary assist local residential communities, including in Puerto Rico, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, all during Hurricane Maria and Hurricane Michael. With the demand for our essential businesses expanding at such a fast-paced rate, we would use these funds to purchase much needed safety equipment for our crew of veterans, which would allow us to take on additional work safely and to grow our business. This would include the purchase of helmets, chainsaw chaps, and expanding our telecom system. On behalf of all the veterans here at Tree Army, we thank you so much for your time and consideration today.
Perfect.
Well, thank you very much for what you're doing and helping veterans make that important transition to civilian life. It is so important that we look out for our veterans.
Thanks for having us.
Kimmy, do you want to kick us off tonight?
Sure, and I echo that. Thank you for your service as a vet and what you're doing even as a civilian with your business. You immediately made me feel like a slacker.
Never.
My question is, with the funds that you're saying that you would receive if awarded this grant, you would purchase the equipment for the vets that are hired that's working with you for you. Would that be like how many employees do you have, and how are you going to distribute the?
Sure. So we have varying numbers of employees. A lot of our employees are contractors that will come on when we have specific types of contracts, such as line clearance or actual deployment to disaster zones versus the regular commercial and residential tree work that we do on the day-to-day basis in the Bronx and New York City and Westchester counties. So that's a varying group of individuals. When it comes to like our set core team, we have 6 veterans and 1 family member that work for us full time. And the thing with tree work is that our equipment is really specialized and it's also very expensive. So we supply each one of our vets when they join the team full time with full gear that is theirs. It is assigned to them. No one else uses it. It is also their responsibility to maintain, which is a similar model to in the military when you're issued your equipment and it's your responsibility to maintain it. And we found that by giving our veterans that responsibility and them having their own individual gear, they really feel like they're part of a team, and it's helping to build the camaraderie and build the team and build the Tree Army family, so to speak. So the helmets that we use, they're a company in Canada, they're Protas Banner helmets. I'll just use that as an example. Just the helmet alone without the telecom system is upwards of $300. And then the telecom system installed is an additional $300. And when we're, communicating from up in the bucket truck or, 75 feet up in a tree in a harness, we need to be able to communicate with our grounds crew on the ground, especially to make sure that everyone is safe and everyone is taken care of. So those are things that are really important to us. Right now, we have 6 helmets and each crew member is assigned one. We would like to have additional helmets that the new hires that are coming on, this is slow season. So when we start bringing on additional employees, we'd like to be able to give them a complete set of equipment, including chainsaw chaps, the helmet, the communication system, the eye protection, the high vis equipment, everything that they really need to be successful.
Ryan?
Yeah, first, Joelle, congratulations on to you and to Nicholas for being named the finalist. It's definitely a great work that you're doing. You mentioned that you do work, you've done work, I think, in Florida and Alabama during some of the. So is there any thought in terms of growth to like license your company idea to create a franchise? Just, I mean, I'm trying to think about what your long-term growth plans are, you know, 2021 and beyond. Do you want to stay local or?
We would like to stay local. What we have done recently and what we're looking to continue to do is to be able to branch out into other aspects of the disaster relief and other aspects of tree work. So for example, in the military, I was satellite communications and cable system installer and maintainer. So I'm fiber optic certified. So one of the contracts that we did take on was line clearance for PSD&G in Long Island, doing the clearance for telecom and power lines after Hurricane Sandy. And shortly thereafter, I picked up a contract for installing cable. So what we're looking to do is to be able to branch out and train our employees and utilize our tree equipment also for the cable side and the line clearance side, which will expand our market and our ability to transfer the skills across different avenues. But also we've started a secondary sister company to ours, which is Debris Army. So we are actually not only doing the organic material, which goes along with tree work, but also non-organic debris removal. So for example, if a contractor has, you know, a yard that has concrete on it and needs that to be removed, we'll do that as well. So we're looking to branch out in that aspect, but just a little brainchild of my husband and I is what we're looking to do is be able to bring a trailer when we go down to disaster sites that has a water filtration system, as well as showers and washers and dryers for people who are affected by disasters. That these are the things that they really need. In those moments when you've lost everything, to be able to go somewhere and get clean drinking water for cooking, to be able to get a hot shower and to be able to wash your clothes is really something that is needed. And unfortunately, it's not being done. So hopefully that's coming in our future. Not exactly sure when. We're still working on building out the trailer and the idea of how we can do that in the most effective way. But that is what we're looking to do for the future.
We may have time for one very quick question. Eileen, bring us home.
I actually have no questions, Joelle. I'm just very impressed with what you're doing. I happen to come from a military family, so I totally understand the concept of team and giving them responsibility and purpose. And the idea of your growth and seeing needs that aren't met, like the showers and the water demand. Just thank you very much for what you're doing.
Well, thank you so much for having us and your support.
Thank you.
Joelle, again, thank you. Thank your husband. And most of all, thank you for your service to this country.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
That was our last presentation of the night. Let's have a big round of applause, if we could, for our finalists. The judges have a tough job picking only one of these 10 outstanding finalists. Everyone hang tight. The judges will be deliberating in a soundproof, top secret vault or breakout room. I will join them to see if I can build a consensus, because we're going to have a tough one tonight. So bear with us for a couple of minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, we do have a winner. In the studios, this is where I would end up calling for a drum roll. You know, maybe Main Drag could drag out a piece of equipment for this for us, but we are here to announce a winner. But at the same time, I want to say thank you to these finalists. This has been an amazing group of people. You know, during this tough times that we've had since March, telling inspiring stories, doing such important work in communities, pivoting, and making our city, making our metropolitan region a better place because of your creativity, because of your commitment, because of your strength. And I want to thank the judges for their thoughtful questions and just their follow-up. Eileen, B&B Bank is writing some big checks tonight, so I would like you to step forward and announce our winner tonight with some thoughts. Eileen?
I want to thank everyone for being involved. It was not a very, very easy decision. We boiled it down to basically 3, and we really had a tough time deciding. You're all very impressive. The way you've survived a very, very difficult year and are looking to the future. Some of you have even done better during COVID. It's been a very tough year for all of us. I'm wishing you all a very happy, safe, healthy holiday. Thank you all very much. I'm going to do a personal plug for B&B in that today our Dime merger was announced, which will put us in the Manhattan area. So it was approved by both boards. So we'll be Dime going forward, which expands us fully from Montauk to Manhattan. So we will have more of a New York presence. And drum roll again, we have chosen for the $10,000 check, Techie Youth. Techie Youth sponsors foster children.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Sorry, cut you off. I couldn't contain it.
That's okay. Thank you. Your passion showed. It really, really.
That is so amazing. I'm super thrilled. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate it. And that we do a lot with a little. So that is going to help a ton of kids. I really will. So thank you so much.
Well, it's very funny. As a personal aside, the judges are like, well, we're donating to them anyway. So that won't be all that you're getting.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
It's very good work that you're doing. It's very impressive. These are forgotten children. So thank you.
I'm super excited. I'm trying to contain it.
Well,
That's fine. We like that.
We could feel it. And in closing, I want to thank everyone. This, as I mentioned, this past year has been brutal. The crisis has struck us at the heart of Main Street. Our small business owners, our mom and pop shops, our youth, as we heard from Eric and so many other people. But, you know, tonight we heard a pretty powerful message, a message of determination. We heard from so many of you who are filling in the gaps along the way. B&B's president and soon Dime, Kevin O'Connor, often delivers this message. Think big, shop small. And in shopping in the holidays this year, make an extra effort. Make an extra effort to shop locally. Support your small businesses. To the finalists, to all of you, stay in touch with us here at 1010 Wins, and I will be in touch with many of you in doing features on the bottom line for small business, because there are some really powerful, inspiring stories that we need to get out to New York. I wish all of you the very best for the holiday season and the new year. And to Eric, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm like beyond words. I'm ecstatic right now.
Well, yeah, I can feel it. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Eric.
Thank you.
Congratulations.